What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. Yo, this episode was crazy, like, bro. After like really the super serious episode we had last week, having an episode that was predominantly comedy, comedy with the body switching was a nice change of pace. So Proctor Rocky and my God, Trish and Misa were without a doubt the highlights of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic shit from them both. But yeah, man, great shit. Without further ado, let's just jump right in. So he starts this episode off. You got Giorno. We first started with like where we left off last week with Diavolo, and there's now a mysterious person walking away from him like a beast, like a badass man. Like, so after he says Diavolo's in terms like tell him like stop right now. Well, where did you want to explain that marking on your neck? And he's trying to like talk to him, explain to him, like he says, like show him your face and all this shit. The dude doesn't respond. He keeps walking away. Next thing we know, Diavolo lost the stand arrow and it's now in the other guy's hands. And he's like, how could this be? Why am I down to my knees? Is this the work of the stand arrow? And he falls asleep. So then Giorno and the others follow suit. They're all kind of wondering, like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this sorcery? Why are they falling asleep? And we also see a few other people fall asleep around the area. So the next thing we know, so then we cut back. They start to wake up. Giorno's the first to come to, and then Trish, and then we see Trish, and so then Trish, and so they're kind of like wondering like what's going on. Now I did not notice this at first, but Trish, well, not at first at this current moment, but I did notice it actually, obviously as the episode went on. But I did not notice that Trish's voice was actually slightly different, because right after this, she goes and she grabs the turtle and grabs Mista's gun, and the way she did everything, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Since when did Trish know how to shoot and shit? Because I didn't know that her voice had slightly changed by this point in the episode. And so then after a while, she's telling Giorno to get to cover and everything, and then Giorno is like looking around now. Now everyone else's voice kind of slightly changed, except Narancia and Giorno. They kind of sound a little bit different, but it wasn't really all that much. Misa and Trish especially, were honestly the ones, the biggest ones that you could definitely notice a change in their voice, which I thought that was actually really cool. They actually did change their voices up a little bit for this part of the episode. I thought that was nice, and it looks like they did that for the sub as well, judging by the credits. So nice touch there. I like that one. But anyway, so after Giorno's looking around, he's like trying to think like, oh, where's Giorno? And Trish is looking at him like, fam, you're Giorno. What the fuck are you talking about? And so then he's like, and then he notices that his hands are bleeding. And like there's blood on his hands. Not that they're bleeding, there's like blood on his hands. Literally. And so he's like wondering where is this coming from? And the next thing they kind of like they come together, and Mista puts his gun right in his crotch, like right in front of him where his dick should be. So he puts it down there, and then he goes like, wait, what's going on? Ah! Where's my ding-a-ling go? Yes, he legit said that. Where's my door? Where are you, little guy? And he's like looking around. He finds out he has tits. He's like, what the hell? When did I have sex with him? And he gets in there, man. He goes underneath her bra, and he gets a nice feel for him. Let's be real. This would be all of us if we switch bodies with a girl, especially one that's attractive like Trish. Let's be real. So he's like searching his body and everything, feeling it up. I don't know if this counts as sexual harassment against Trish or not. So he's like feeling around, and he's just like, what the hell? And then Trish and Misa without the highlights of the episode. So then we get over to Misa. So Misa starts to wake up, which we now know is Trish inside Misa's body. Trish looks up and finds out that she is in Misa's body, and she's like horrified at what she sees, and she's in the middle. She starts sniffing his pit. She's like, "Oh my God, your pit stinks!" And then she looks in the mirror, and then of course we get Misa's meme face, which you bet your ass will be in the thumbnail. It has to, for how much of a meme it has become. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, it will be in the thumbnail. And if it isn't, slap me, because it should be. I'll make another one, put it in there if I end up forgetting. But anyway. You see Misa's mean face. He's like, oh, oh, please kill me now. You know, he's looking in the mirror and everything, and it's just like, oh, and he just like wishes to die, and just now to someone end him, please. So anyway, after that, so then we get to Narancia, and he goes over to the turtle. He looks inside, and that's when he finds out that he and Giorno have indeed switched bodies. And so it looks like, well, first off, Giorno mentioned something, or I should say Narancia in Mista's body, or in Giorno's body. That's going to get confusing. So anyway, yeah. So he looks at, he mentioned that it might be from his shoulder, and then we look at Giorno, and then we look at Narancia, and we find out that he has like bandages, everything out from the mold that happened a few episodes back. So most likely that's from it, and the blood just kind of carrying when his spirits transferred, his blood loss transferred with him, I guess. I don't know. But regardless of such, so anyway, they're kind of like trying to get their bearings of whatever. You have Giorno and Narancia, which at this point is what I'm gonna say. When I say Giorno, I mean Giorno inside Narancia's body. When I say Narancia, I mean Narancia inside Giorno's body. Mista Mista in Trish's body, etc., etc., etc. So I'm just gonna use their names, and you guys know which body, what I'm talking about. So anyway, so Narancia and Giorno are talking. And Narancia meant like, oh, hey Giorno, just whatever happens, just make sure just know that I'm still older than you, or technically older than you. So then we get back to Trish, and my girl Trish out here, like, she really be going in on Mista. She'd be like, oh my god, did you clean under your damn fingernails? Oh, Avery, every part of me saved. Or no, Shelton says something about like shaving his knuckles. And she's like, ah! And then she like smells his fingers. She's like, ah, every part of me saved. Could I get swept by someone that actually showers? And Trish is like, I don't, or Mista, I should say. Mista's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because we were right next to her. Words can hurt as much as bullets sometimes too, Damn, she really hurt my man Mista's feelings. Come on now, woman. Give the man an apology. Come on. Why you gotta go after? Why you gotta go on Mista like that? Come on. But anyways, and then she kind of gets back up, and she's like, "You can't be that bad." And Mista starts sniffing Trish's fingernails. So then afterwards, Trish notices that Mista got his whole head underneath her skirt. And it looks like he might be doing some things with it. And she's like, and Trish. You can see a bit of Diavolo in her at this current moment, ladies and gentlemen. She out here going on. She's like, first off, she grabs him by his arms and just presses him against this, I don't know, this stick. Against this wall. And so then she's going on like, if you dare to keep your hands, if you go anywhere near my panties, I'll bury you alive. She's like, yeah, jeez. It's just the elastic hits you, Yes, you. Did you hear me? If you go anywhere near my skirt again, there will be nothing left. And we get this huge close-up of his face. On Trish's face right here, man. And she's just like, and she's serious. So then he huddles over to Giorno, and he's like, oh, me, God, she's like on her knees, hugging him, rubbing her face across his chest, or the bottom part of his chest. Not his chest, the bottom half of his chest area, the bottom, I don't know what it's called, the abdominal thing. So yeah, she's like, Narancia, and Mista's like, that isn't Narancia, you idiot. Jeez. I'm not here yet. I'm the dope. And then he says, he spits, and then you got Trish be like, stop that! Oh, this is absolutely hilarious. This is absolutely probably the best part of the entire episode. So then, Giorno notices that notices a turtle kind of like circling around like this pillar area or whatever, and he finally hears it say, it hurts. And then he gets to talk and says, Diavolo is your foe. And then we find out, and then we see that the turtle's talking. Giorno rushes out, gets our golden win, and gets the key out. And we find out that the turtle is not being controlled by anybody, but instead he switched his souls with him. And Palmer switched souls with the turtle. So now the turtle, so Palmer is now residing inside the turtle itself. And so after that, we got Misa like, what the hell is a Polnareff? And so then Polnareff kind of explains on what the standing is, that it's the embodiment of hope, that it's neither friend nor your foe, or it's not your foe, but neither nor your friend. And so then he says like it's like the embodiment of hope, and he's gonna kind of explain and drop some knowledge on what the stand arrow possesses. So we kind of find out what happened. So after he had his fight with Diavolo, by some mirror, by some grace of God or whatever, Polnareff survived, and he took refuge in a village. So then he saw the arrow kind of got lodged behind like a dresser or whatever, and he's like, a minor inconvenience, but annoying nonetheless. So, and he says an able person would solve this no problem, but since Polnareff is wheelchair bound, man's kind of screwed. So you see this poor man struggling to get the arrow before he decided he was just going to leave, but then he was like, oh wait, I could just have Silver Chariot grab it. So he used a Silver Chariot, but ended up slicing his finger, which is how he got this new badass cowboy looking form. And everyone fell asleep as well this time as well. But then he had like this feeling where, and he instantly grabbed the arrow away from Silver Chariot's hand to keep him from completely losing himself. And so that's what he had to do. He was hoping that one day that he could bestow the power of this arrow to newer warriors to hopefully defeat Diavolo. He can't do it himself because he's just grown too old and weak. Or if he said he's grown too weak. So he's been lying waiting for brave warriors like them to, harness the power of this arrow. So then Mista asked about so this was all the arrow's doing, so we didn't actually switch bodies. He says no. Because he doesn't have control over Silver Chariot anymore, he can't control the stand arrow, so his abilities are unknown to him. And so from there, we actually they check the area. They have Naranja check the area with a little bomber to see if there's anyone else coming. Which they found that there's like one or two. Oh no! Before that, Polnareff asks which one if you're Trish. Looking at Mista, and she's like, yeah, I'm a bit hairier than usual. And so he mentions that the boss is actually two people, and that's how he got this close to how Diavolo got this close, of course, with Doppio. And so they're kind of like surprised by this. How is he two people? This, that, and the third. So then they have the launch to kind of search the area out, scope it, see if anyone else is coming to the Coliseum or whatever, maybe to figure out who the boss took over or whatever. So then they find someone coming in there. They all kind of take their positions after you had Naranja do these hand signs, or I think it might have been Giorno. Either way, they start doing these hand signs, and I'm like, what even are these? What the hell does any of these even mean? And so from there, and so they kind of look out into the distance. As after everyone gets in position, they say, and Giorno gives me okay, it's showtime, Naranja. We find out that we obviously see what looks like Diavolo charging towards them, and the next thing, and Polnareff tells him, wait, look to the figure to your left, and we find that there's still a chair hiding. He's just sitting there with the arrow, and Polnareff mentions that the arrow come taking complete control of him, and he's become Silver Chariot Requiem, which. Yeah. Now I'm really curious to see how this is going to turn out, because I've heard some things. Because like I said, there was a time a while ago where I was watching a shit ton of JoJo videos from different JoJo tubers, and I heard a lot about how powerful Silver Chariot Requiem is. I haven't seen it in action, so we'll most likely see it go down next week. So that should be interesting. Anyway. So please find out. So first thing it's Diavolo. We think Diavolo's gotten back and he somehow didn't switch bodies anyway. But next thing we know, we see Zipper Man show up and punches off Silver Chariot's arm that's holding the stand arrow. That caught me by surprise. I didn't think that was the guy's right that they actually switched bodies that Bucciarati switched bodies with Diavolo. But does that mean that Diavolo is in Bucciarati's body? Could be. It could not. Now they could have gone with someone else, or no one could have infected Bucciarati's body. We'll have to wait. We'll probably find out next week on what happened to Bucciarati's body and all that shit. So that's gonna be very interesting. And that's where the episode ends. They legit have Bucciarati punch his arm off, and then they do the to be continued, and then go to the credits. Obviously, I was kind of pissed off, a little salty at this another bullshit cliffhanger. Fuck you, David Productions. But yeah, man, this episode was fun and fantastic. This review actually ended up being a lot shorter than I expected. I thought it was like I thought it was like around like 18 minutes. I was recording until I looked down at the timer and I'm like only 15 minutes in. Kind of surprised. I did not expect it to be this short. But yeah, man, this episode was absolutely fucking phenomenal, man. I loved it. Oh man, I can't wait for next week. This was a nuts. Having this much comedy was enough for me to change the pace to, you know, balance up the tones of having that super serious episode last week. This one a bit more comedic was quite the enjoyment. Yeah, man, not really much more to say. And so overall, I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter if you like. Leave some description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. Now, if y'all excuse me, I gotta prepare for the Lakers game tonight.
She's too